Hello and welcome to the first ever Binary Core Doctor Who Spoilercast. This is the bit where you yay.
Hello.
Yay!
Yay!
First ever Spoilercast in general.
Well, in general. So I'm joined by some Whovians, which is your fandom name. Did you know that?
I did.
Because if you didn't, that's one of the first spoilers. You are all Whovians probably listening to this as well.
Within the Whoniverse.
Oh, look at him go. So, we've got the Whovian Dadge, the Whovian Blaze, the Whovian Lance, and I kind of like Doctor Who.
Not the best person to be leading the Spoilercast, I guess.
No.
I'm the one who did the research, so...
Good one who needed to do the research.
That was my next point. The rest of you should know it. I had to do research. Okay, so, later today is the 50th anniversary Doctor Who-y thing, right?
Doctor Who.
Yeah.
It's the day of the Doctor episode.
The day of the Doctor episode, where... and it takes place in the Time War, the last Great Time War. So
that's not confirmed yet, is it?
Yes, it is.
Oh, wow.
Seriously, I had to do research to find out. You should know this. It takes place in the last Great Time War. Okay, but we're getting ahead of ourselves there. How did we get to this point? So you've all watched the last season, yeah?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
And how it ended. Dad, you remember
Yeah.
specifically how it ended, don't you?
I do, yeah. But I feel like you should let the audience know, John.
Okay, so... Matt, how did it end?
I was going to say, do you even remember?
I do. There was a TARDIS, and there was Richard E. Grant.
You are correct.
Oh, and he was the... Oh, why do I not remember the name? It was the Grey Intelligence, wasn't it?
Yes.
Ah, see, I'm
Spot
good.
on, well done.
I'm doing amazing. And he was trying to find out the Doctor's name, because he's a dick.
Yeah. Kind of.
So no, seriously, carry on. You tell the story. You Whovians know more than me.
The Great Intelligence wanted the Doctor's name to kind of unlock the room where the Doctor died, so he could get into the Doctor's time stream and fuck around with his previous life.
And if I remember correctly, his grave was a giant fucking TARDIS.
Yes, it was. It was the TARDIS spilling out of itself.
Yeah. When the TARDIS dies, it carries on growing.
So it became bigger on the outside.
Yes.
Effectively.
That wasn't meant to be like a joke. That's like actually what happened.
that's spot on, yeah.
But it would just keep growing until it destroyed everything, I guess. I don't know how much space is in a TARDIS.
So basically, everything
limited.
that is on the inside, it would actually take that physical side.
Yes.
Outside. Okay.
And considering he has a swimming pool and a library, and the swimming pool was in the library at one point, that's quite a lot.
And his engine room is a black hole.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, he
There
has...
is
I
also
was going to say, you kind of topped me there, David. I was going to say, he's got backups of every room he's ever had.
And every room
And
he will
every
have.
configuration of the TARDIS. So,
and,
yeah.
and his wardrobe. That's going to be huge.
Yes.
Rotated.
I mean, think of how many
Bow ties and
scarves there are. Oh, no, and the scarves from Colin Baker. Those scarves were huge.
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't it just one scarf?
Well, no, it was one scarf, but it was just really big.
Yeah.
He never wore the same part of the scarf.
It was so big that it didn't count as a scarf, it counted as scarves.
You know, like in bathrooms where you have those the things where you dry your hands, but you just keep pulling on it. And it's just a towel that rotates.
Yeah.
That's how his scarf was, but it just never ended. He just kept going. He just kept pulling on it, and a new bit of scarf would come out. That's headcanon as well. Yeah, I'm just updating Tumblr, and yeah, that's now canon. Yeah.
Good stuff.
So he wanted to get inside the room where the Doctor died.
Yep.
And we found he jumped into his live stream, didn't he?
It's time stream, yeah.
Time stream, live stream. Oh, sorry, I
Close
went
enough.
on a fantasy there.
Can't cross streams, John.
Oh, no, you're right, John. You can't cross streams.
Amazing.
Carry on, Matt.
Alright, so after the Great Intelligence jumped in, he started messing around and turning the Doctor's victories into failures. So then Clara jumped in and fixed it, and she saw all of the Doctors and a Doctor that she didn't recognise, and it turned out that it was John Hurt.
Which explains why in the season we keep seeing her playing different characters.
Yes.
Yeah.
She was the impossible girl.
She played a deranged Dalek,
Yeah.
which was probably the best Dalek ever.
Yep.
And you didn't know she was a Dalek.
Yeah, and then she was like
Right,
Victorian woman, and then that woman from Shoreditch. I don't know if it's Shoreditch. I'm just saying Shoreditch. That's also canon. Thank you, Tumblr. Yeah. So she saw John Hurt.
Yes.
Yeah, she saw the back of his head.
Doctor.
Yeah, introducing John Hurt as the Doctor is what it said at the end.
Yeah. And the Doctor was like, he's not a real Doctor. He broke the promise. Blah blah blah.
And the promise is he
is the Doctor. The Doctor is he wants to heal people. That's his promise.
Yeah.
But he broke the promise to become and it pops up in the Night of the Doctor.
Yeah.
He says he's the War Doctor.
Mm.
Doctor no more.
Yes, because they decided that they needed a warrior for the Time Wars. Because in the Minisode, if no one else has coined that, we did it, or Matt did it, or one of you lot did it. It was who are those women that he met up with? He crashed on the planet, and those women were the sisters of something.
Sisters of Khan.
Sisters of
Khan.
The Sisters of Khan said that they were able to control the regeneration, who could become something specific. He could finally become a ginger, and he doesn't do it.
He could become
Become a woman. They even said woman, didn't they?
Yep.
But he decides to become a warrior because that's what the Time War needs.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's the only person who can stop it.
And you're all aware of why the woman reacted, the woman that he tried to save, why she reacted so badly to him?
Yeah, because she was aware of the Time War, and Time Lords aren't really that great of a race.
Well, yeah, the war going on between the two of the Daleks and the Time Lords, it's kind of, even though they're the technically good guys in it, they're seen as such bad people because they've caused so much problems. Because the war is people going back in time and changing what happened, and that's why the time lock happened.
No, the Time Lords are dicks.
The time lock happened because of what their final plan was. I think it's what episode is it? The last David Tennant episode.
Yeah, David Tennant's last.
And he's talking to Will.
Is that the 11th hour?
And the Master. No, that's the one. That's the first Matt Smith episode.
Right.
And he's talking to Will
makes perfect sense.
and the Master, and he says that because the Time Lords wanted to destroy everything, like time, and they would become
they were going to ascend.
Consciousness. Yeah.
The episode's
And
the end of time.
Thank you, Dadge. But yeah, that's why.
Heartbreaking episode. Poor David Tennant. I miss David Tennant.
Really? Well, don't worry, he'll be back later today.
Exactly. I'm so looking forward.
One thing I really did like about the Minisode was the fact that they actually got Paul McGann back.
Yeah.
Because when I heard one of you told me that, it's about the Eighth Doctor becoming the War Doctor, and I was like, are they actually going to use Paul McGann again? And they did, and I liked that because he was a very underrated Doctor because he was only in that one movie,
which kind of
sucked. That didn't do very well.
Yeah, but I just thought it was really good that they didn't just put in some extra guy; they actually got him.
Well, he's been not on TV, but he's still been playing the Doctor since then on the audio stories. Yes,
and there's a lot of sort of comics and novelizations.
Yeah.
I mean, about the character, obviously it's not him, but I'm saying that Doctor has quite a lot of backstory to him.
One of the things that I know a lot of people on the Doctor Who subreddit were excited about was the names that he said before he drank the potion in the minisode.
Yes.
Because it basically canonized all of the audio stories.
Which is good.
Oh, that's good. That's awesome. Have you heard the other rumour set forth by one of the previous Doctors that he's going to be in the 50th episode?
I have, yes.
What?
I think I know who you're about. No.
Yeah.
Who?
Tom Baker.
That would be amazing because he is probably my favourite Doctor.
He said in a newspaper interview, he said that he was in this week's episode. So
playing the Doctor or just cameoing in it?
I think he's playing it.
I'd imagine, yeah.
Because that would be awesome. Because I know that when the I keep saying live stream, then the Doctor's timeline thing came into it, they sort of had to cut old footage and get stunt doubles to do things. But having Tom Baker back would be awesome.
Yeah. He's not supposed to tell anyone that he's in it, but yeah, he went ahead and told a newspaper.
Well done.
BBC are going to be pissed. So he might be cut from it now.
I don't know. I reckon it might be all smoke and mirrors, and he's like, look, I'm going to be in it.
And
Get
then
more
Eccleston
people
turns up.
excited about it.
And Eccleston turns up.
I
I'm
don't think
wondering if-
Eccleston will turn up.
I would love that. I thought he was a great Doctor.
I feel like
He
it would be
doesn't
great
like
to finally
Doctor
see.
Who.
Yeah. He left because he didn't want to be typecast, and now he just doesn't get cast.
I heard that he left because he didn't like the way that him and some of the other cast members were treated by, like, Davis and that.
All right. So when he originally left, the first thing what he actually said was he didn't want to be typecast. I've heard a lot since then that he was very hard to work with,
Okay.
and so he was sort of pushed through the door as well as
Yeah.
wanting to leave. But I'd like to see the regeneration that made him.
Well,
Yeah.
Moffat said that in an interview that he described himself as a box set kind of guy, and
Like,
he's
Eccleston
feels
said he
that
didn't
was that.
enjoy the environment and culture that the cast and crew had to work in. That's
Yeah.
the quote.
Okay.
He said that on like a radio show or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, I think it was a couple of days ago on like DoctorWho.com or something. Stephen Moffat was saying that he needs, like, as his part of like weird OCDness, he needs to see each regeneration. But I don't think Eccleston will be in it. It'll probably be like a shot of the back of someone's head who looks like him.
Or you'll just see the bright light, and that'll be the end. And do you know what the regeneration is meant to portray, or what it was based on? It's a bad acid trip.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah,
That's a new one.
yeah, that's what I found out.
Interesting.
I had a thing to say, but I completely forgotten what it was.
Should have written it down.
Yeah.
Wrote it down.
Wrote in it.
That's what I said. So, yeah, the clip I mentioned before, the clip that we've just seen right now, a minute ago, or that I've just seen, where John Hurt was in a cabin, looked out the door and said, "Is anyone there?" And behind him appeared Rose Tyler, or Billy Piper playing, assuming, Rose Tyler, and said the words, "Don't worry, it's just a wolf."
It makes you wonder, like, where in her timeline is this happening? Is it after she's been left in the alternate universe, or is it during what we know, but we just never saw and was never spoken about?
Yeah.
Like
Well,
how, I mean,
is she even there? That's the weird thing.
have you seen the clip where it's Matt Smith and Clara walking in a museum, walking past a Fez, and he puts it on, and they show all the smashed glass, and he says, "This is where I come in," meaning he remembers it happening as Tennant. So
he does say, "Oh, I sort of remember this. I kind of remember."
So he remembers it happening as Tennant. Now, is this so? Obviously, it happened somewhere in the Tennant storyline between the two regenerations, but we never saw it happen because obviously a lot of time passed between episodes sometimes, and other adventures may have happened that we don't know about. So it's happened at some point, and it was just never spoken about. Or was it something that, as he said, I kind of remember this? Is he only just remembering it because it's about to happen? So was it blocked from his own memory? You know, these are the sort of things that...
Are you sure, though, that where he says, "This is where I come in," he's talking about it as if he remembers it, or if it's like, "Oh, there's a woman screaming, this is for me"?
No, he says, I'm sure his words
He says,
are,
I kind of
remember this.
And he was saying, he's remembering it from Tennant's point of view, saying, "This is where I come in."
Is he remembering it from Tennant's point of view, though? Could he be remembering it from John Hurt's point of view?
But at that point, John Hurt isn't there. John Hurt didn't see him.
Oh, true. So, yeah, he wouldn't see him come in, yeah. But Tennant must remember it as well. So you've got two doctors there remembering what happened, and one doctor like, "What's going on?"
I've always had an issue when they do these multiple Doctor episodes, because it's not the first time. There's been a 5-Doctor and a 3-Doctor before. With the whole, you can't cross your own timeline, and then there you go.
Yeah.
But the crossing your whole timeline, it's not you can't do it, it's a precaution.
Yeah. Stephen Moffat, I think it was, said it. He basically came out and said, "It's a show about time travel. There's no such thing as continuity errors." Errors.
Which is annoying, but I can get what you're saying, and the way that, because in Doctor Who, from the beginnings, from first Doctor the way through, we've seen the Earth get destroyed twice, in 2 different manners, and the way they got round that is the Time War. is their plot device to get rid of all continuity errors, because anything could have happened and rewrote history. So when we saw the Earth get destroyed pre-Time War, that was how it happened, but then the Time War changed that, because it's about people travelling through time. Which is a load of bollocks, and one of the greatest cop-out things ever.
But it works. I think it's worth pointing out as well, going back to Rose Tyler and whatever, there have been I've seen none, I don't know if anyone else has, so correct me if I'm wrong, there have been no publicity shots, or any clips, or any sort of glimmer of her with Number 10, or with Tennant, or Smith's doctors.
No, I've only ever seen her with Hurt.
There's one.
Really?
There is?
Yeah. There's a picture with Matt and Tennant standing in the front of the shot. Clara off to the right.
Is it a promo shot or is it an actual scene, though?
I think it's a promo shot.
That's different.
But I don't think they've released that many shots of, other than Matt and Clara and Matt and Tennant. They haven't really shown anything of anyone together. Like there's no Matt and Rose at all. And no Clara
really
and John Hurt,
thinking-
and I imagine that will happen.
It's got to, yeah. But I'm really thinking that Rose Tyler's going to be a massive plot device in this.
I hope she isn't. She annoying.
Well, I said this to you, I think, before. It might have been you, John. That when I saw the promo shot of her, she looked kind of bad wolfy. Like
yes, you did say that, yeah.
really, like, torn up tights and, like, kind of scruffy looking.
Still wearing that pink hoodie. Ugh.
And that weird sort of clip in her hair.
Yeah, but she's got really bright yellow eyes.
Yeah, she did say about that, yeah.
It's the stare as well. I've got a promo shot in front of me now. No bright yellow eyes, but the stare is sort of I'm going to murder you sort of stare.
Yeah, so I think it is going to have a lot, especially with that quote that you were saying about it's just a wolf. I think it might be like bad wolf Rose. Maybe she, I don't know, sent her consciousness forward or something, or backwards.
Yeah.
So the episode itself is going to be, it's set in the Time War, the last great Time War. I'm curious to how they're going to portray this, because the Time War went on for hundreds of years. And are we going to see it just within the time lock? Because the time lock was only at a specific point. It was so that no time traveler within it could leave it, and no time traveler outside of it could come back into it. Unless
it's a Dalek, or a White Point Star, or a tune.
Well, no, that whole tune from two different locations reminded me very much of Dragon Ball GT, with the way that Super 17 way Super 17 was created by the two 17s, one in Hell, one on Earth, doing the same energy power to sort of link them together and make a conduit. I don't know who stole what from who, but okay.
From who?
But yeah, so I'm curious to whether we're going to see it with inside the time lock or outside, or maybe everything. Like it's going to be very jumpy through time.
See, because of how old Hurt is, and how young you saw him when he regenerated,
I was going to mention that.
It will skip out a massive amount of the Time War.
So we'll
what
see.
We see will be the end of the Time War. And
I feel like it's going to be
Hurt making that decision to be like, okay, this is what I'm doing. I found the moment.
One other thing which I'm curious about, are we going to see John Sim? Because John Sim was inside.
John Sim was not inside the Time War, was he?
Yes, he was.
No, he was. He was given
They
more
regenerated. That was when they gave him they resurrected him, giving him the more regenerations. And what did he do to help them? Buggered off.
He ran away and became human.
Yeah, became human, and he wasn't aware of him being the Time Lord, being the Master himself, and he sort of hid himself away. And then, as we saw,
at the end of the universe.
Yeah, and as we saw, he then regenerated, became Saxon, and took over. So yeah, I would like to see John Sim in it. This may just be because I've recently been rewatching Life on Mars, but I don't know. I'd like to see John Sim in it.
I'd love to see John Sim back.
Yeah, good actor.
Very good.
Being it.
And the Master is one of the best enemies.
Yeah, excellent character.
I'd like to see Rassilon in it as well, because I think Timothy Dalton did that really well in the end of time.
Oh, yeah.
And also the woman who is never explained.
Which woman?
In the end of time, she's the one that keeps appearing to Wilf.
I know, it covers her eyes and...
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then looks at Tennant and is like, "Go on, you know what to do." But she's never really explained.
Yeah.
Maybe she's meant to be one of those unexplained mysteries that we can all talk about for days and days and days and years.
See, I have like a theory, but it would be nice for it to be proven.
It's the Spoilercast. We should hear these.
Come on, this is the point of this. What
The
do we
theory
think
is that she's is it Susan? In original, like very, very, very old Hartnell Doctor Who, the girl who's his niece / daughter. I think he tells people she's his niece, but he's actually his daughter.
Ah, okay. I did not know this.
Yeah, in the like when it started, he travelled with a younger girl, and I'm sure.
You don't mean Sarah Jane, do you?
No.
No.
Like older. That's Sarah Jane's.
Susan Foreman.
Yeah, her. So
Yeah.
I think it's her grown up and like not regenerated.
Is that the girl from the movie where the Daleks take over Earth in World War II?
She's the granddaughter.
Yeah,
and
that's the
original companion
Yeah.
of the first Doctor.
Okay.
And yet she reprised her role in the Five Doctors. An episode you mentioned earlier.
Mhm. Yeah, so I think it's her, like all grown up.
It could well be.
Do you know who I would like to see in the 50th? And it's never going to happen. But Jenny?
Yeah. The other daughter.
Yeah, the clone daughter.
Yeah.
Mm.
That'd be
Because
cool.
she just flies off. And to be fair, she was created after the Time War, so it's unlikely.
When I was saying before about the Doctor crossing his own timeline, he is quoted to have said that such meddling would destroy 2/3 of the universe, and it was something that Headmaster Finch, which was, I believe that was the guy played by Anthony Stewart Head, tried to convince him to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is a fixed moment in time where it has to happen, so it's okay. That's how it works.
Still interested to what's going to happen. Like, so we know that, like, obviously Hurt existed within the Time War. So, and we're seeing Smith and Tennant, but there's nothing's to say that they are going to exist inside the Time War. So, how exactly are they going to interact with Hurt? Because they can't get into it, because the whole point of the time lock, they can't get into it and change things. So,
But
how
Hurt has
exactly?
obviously got out. If Hurt has got
Or-
out, then
No, not necessarily got out, but as in, it could be him before and him after, and he just survived.
But no, what I mean is, if he's meeting with the Doctors to go into the Time War, then he must have got out of the Time War.
Or it's before it. Or the Time War could be going on all the time. Are you specifically talking about the time lock?
Yeah.
Because it could
Maybe,
be
I don't
before the lock was put in place, or after
But no,
the lock.
the lock is put in place forever. It's from the beginning of time to the end of time. That's the whole point of the lock.
But in
because
his
the
timeline, there was a point before it happened.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
It's only locked like that. To be fair, it's locked like that for everyone else. It's why I think a lot of people don't recognise Time Lords.
Yeah.
Because before the Time War, they never had any interaction with them.
And after the Time War, they didn't exist.
Yeah, so they were like, oh, okay. But I have no idea how they're going to, unless they don't.
What do you mean they don't? They do interact with him. He walks in, he
Oh,
goes
yeah, he
looking
does,
for the
yeah.
Doctor, and they go, well, you've come to the right place. But they don't sound Australian like that.
Yeah.
But
Well,
at
maybe
the
it's
same,
got
how do we
something to
know?
do with the name.
Was that?
I said maybe it's got something to do with them, because like he locked it probably with, it's probably going to come back to his name.
Mm.
Maybe if they wanted to, they could pop back in. And they decide, well, something's gone wrong in there, something's breaking out, we need to pop back in and fix it.
Or maybe to create it, he needed to have 3 of himself. He
Maybe.
wasn't able to do it alone. And so there, in this episode, to create the time lock, and then the lock happens, and they don't interact with him anymore.
Because the lock is quite a powerful thing.
Oh, of course, it locks the whole of time.
Yeah, so I can imagine that being...
I mean, I think it stops any time traveller from travelling in or out of it, meaning it's more powerful than the Daleks, and it's more powerful than all of the Time Lords.
Except for when it's by accident and it's convenient.
Oh yeah, but
Like with Dalek Khan.
or the
There's so many Khans.
yeah. What were the other 3 called? Because there was 4 of them. There were only 4 Daleks with names, weren't they?
I can't remember. I know they were the cult of Spyro, but I can't remember the name. I only remember Dalek Khan.
Dalek Khan is spelled differently to the planet Khan. So,
Yeah,
the cult of
isn't
Khan.
he Khan like C-A-A-N?
Yeah, and their Khan is K-A-R-N.
K-A-R-N, yeah.
God.
And then there's Khan.
Who's K-H-A-N?
Any more Khans? I actually have a
can't
friend
think of
who's
any.
called Khan, who's K-A-A-N.
Yes. Turkish.
Yeah.
What about from the Dalek side of it? Because Davros was in the war. They resurrected Davros to lead them in the Time War.
Yeah.
I'd like to see Davros.
So I also have another question. If something escapes the time lock,
As in survives.
or escapes like Davros,
Or the Four.
yeah, well, didn't? Oh yeah, I suppose yeah, they did. They did kind of survive, but Davros actually escaped. Like Khan went through the time lock and found him and pulled him out.
Yeah.
Would Davros still, because he's been pulled out of it, would it wipe him from there, or for the people trapped in the time lock, is it just he was there 1 minute and now he's gone?
I don't know. But just going back to it, it's Sek, Thay, Jast, and Khan. They're the four with names.
I remember Dalek Sek because he was
Yeah.
the one that turned half human.
And they have the ability to do an emergency temporal shift, which was how they escaped Doomsday.
It's also how they got back in.
Yeah. That was my point. I just had their four names. Carry on. Talk without me.
I'm just wondering if since Davros got out of the time lock, would the people in the time lock still remember Davros?
I don't know.
Or would it be like he...
He
I suppose they remember
would-
the Doctor, so...
he would have been there before the time lock happened.
Yeah.
So they
It would
remember
be-
him.
Yeah, it would be he just
It would like he
disappeared at some
disappeared.
point. Yeah, as if he died. But then existed afterwards. See,
Is it?
it's really hard to talk about this because it's all theoretical time travel that you can't really like put into facts. You've got to, and there are different theories of time travel, and Doctor Who doesn't really use one that other places use.
It just sticks to its own...
Yeah, and especially having a time lock. Well, we've got time travel, except for this whole section of, non-specific length of time. It was a time lock. No one can get in or out of it, And we can't tell you when it happened on the timeline, because we don't know, Like, say you've got present day, today. Did it happen previous to today or after today?
Well,
The actual physical amount of time. When did it happen? We don't know.
yeah, I suppose nobody knows.
It's really, and they're probably never going to tell you because
It's not important, though, is it?
yeah, why over-explain it? You make it more difficult if you try and over-explain it when they don't have to, because it's a show about time travel and they can do what the fuck they want.
Yeah.
Dick.
Could
Yeah.
you imagine trying to explain that to a companion? Like, yeah, don't worry. So at some point, 7 million years in your future, there's a great time war that has already happened, but hasn't happened now because I've locked it.
Okay, what about this? The day before the lock happens, right? He's there with a companion, and so when the sun rises, or wherever they are, the next day, time lock happens. Do they then skip to the end of it? Because they can't enter it.
How do you mean?
I suppose they didn't know that you can't enter it via time travel. So if you entered it naturally, would you still be in it?
Are you talking about, like, the physical space?
The physical time. So, say 1st of January next year, that's when the time lock was put in place. And say it only lasted 2014, it only lasted for that year. On the 31st of December, overnight, I've entered the time lock. Now, I am not able to get out of 2014 via time travel, but if I make it all the way to the end of 2014, I have now got out of the time lock, and I can start time traveling again. Is that how it works? You can't answer this because we were just guessing. I theorize that's how it works.
Yeah, I have no idea. It's probably... I don't think they'll explain that either.
The only thing I'm going to say is it's going to be more than a year, so no one could probably survive it by living. What do you think, Dadge? Because you've been very talkative.
Yeah. I've been retrospectively researching all of the things that you talk about, because it seems I don't know that much about the lore of Doctor Who after all.
Have we got anything wrong? That's
No.
Oh yeah, high fives, guys. Yeah, 6% all round.
Oh, obviously,
I've
apart
got
from the speculative stuff, I can't comment on the.
No, you said it. We got it all right.
All our speculations are correct.
Yeah, that's how we roll.
I've got another theory on Rose here.
Oh yeah.
Remember how, I can't remember which episode it was, but where the TARDIS projected an image of Clara, not Cara.
Yes.
Clara. Could it, because, I don't know how it'd work. Because she's just appearing there, could Billy Piper be the TARDIS? I mean, I know bits before, John Hurt's before Billy Piper, but the way the TARDIS works,
The TARDIS
maybe it's projecting an image of
Yeah, you could
Billy
be right.
Piper maybe pushing the War Doctor towards the right path.
Yeah.
That would actually make a lot of sense, because
How else could she be there? We would have heard about it in her timeline. They can't just keep the kind of thing quiet. And if she's stuck in a parallel universe, then how the hell she get out?
Also, she did kind of once look into the heart of the TARDIS.
Yeah. Maybe she left a message.
maybe.
No, seriously, maybe she left a message.
Kara went into the Doctor's timeline and left herself scattered all over the place. Maybe Billy Piper, Rose Tyler could do the same by looking into the heart of the TARDIS.
Billy Piper couldn't do it, but Rose Tyler could.
Yeah.
But to be fair, I don't even think it has anything to do with Rose. The TARDIS could do it itself.
Also, do you know why she did it? Because she wants to. Because she wants to.
Oh.
And it's the same reason she has to play that song so loud.
I really should have expected that.
My work here is done.
It's like when someone asks, have you heard? You should know what's coming.
Talk about yourselves. Talk amongst yourselves.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to this episode.
Adam just blew my mind.
Oh dear. With the whole projecting.
Yeah.
This is a very good theory.
Adam, I think you got it sussed.
I'm liking it.
You saw that thing where they said that they were going to explain how they were going to get around the regenerations thing, the amount of them, and then they didn't tell us at all. But the way that they did it with the Master, it was the Eye of Harmony, you said, was it, Matt?
I think so.
That was how they resurrected the Master and gave him a full set of regenerations. But how the hell are they going to do it with the Doctor? Because you can't end this show.
We could have an answer this weekend.
We could.
They're going into the time war.
So. I kind of don't think we will get it. I think the time would have nothing to do with it. It's going to be something later on in the Doctor's actual timeline.
I'm
could
not
see Matt
convinced
Smith
by that.
just look into the Eye of Harmony and then carry on, like look into it and then like, oh, that's weird, and then boom, he's got loads more regenerations.
It feels like
it's a theory that I have heard of that has to do with the Sisters of Khan.
God.
Yeah. So when apparently they, from what I remember, and I think I've only seen the episode like once, but do you know the potion that she gives them that can control regenerations?
Yep.
They also have potions that can help extend regenerations, which I think they may have offered the Doctor before, and he was all like, "No, I'm good." But they also
that's
offered,
cool.
Very upset.
I know in one of
the
episodes they also gave him a potion, because they have this thing that they protect. I think it's called the Elixir of Life or something. But they gave him, I'm sure they gave him something to ease one of his regenerations, because it was particularly difficult.
They might have roofied him, and while he was asleep, just here's 20 more regenerations.
Yeah, but this is the thing. Imagine if we've got this all wrong, and her War Doctor is actually one. Because when they give him the potion, they let him control the regeneration, but they've actually given him more.
Oh, so
they've reset his generations with the potion.
Reset it from the War Doctor. So that makes Eccleston 2.
No, I don't think reset is the right word.
Or maybe
added another 13.
Maybe.
Reset the counter.
But
he has a regeneration counter and it's been reset to 0.
Yeah.
Or 1.
Yeah, he is set to 0. So in the reboot, Eccleston's 1.
Yeah. Tennant is 2 and 3.
Yeah, but then the fans get pissed off because their naming scheme is all wrong, which is my point originally.
Fuck the
but
fans.
If you look at Wikipedia, you've got War Doctor, preceded by 8, superseded by 9, and you're like, well, that doesn't make any sense. You people can't count.
Because it is done by name, not by
The way I said it is it's done by TV appearance. He was the 9th Doctor to appear. He was the 10th Doctor to appear, 11th Doctor to appear, making Hurt the 12th Doctor to appear, but we're going to go with War Doctor, so that Gary Baldy, which I'm never going to stop calling that, is going to be the 12th Doctor.
See, I'd quite happy to stick with the name rather than TV appearance. So it'd be, you've got that in the order that they are the Doctor, so Hurt doesn't count because he's not technically the Doctor.
It says introducing John Hurt as the Doctor.
And then later on,
and later
it
they
confirms that he is the War Doctor.
But it does say the Doctor.
He's the paramedic.
I'd love him just to turn off in one of those paramedic cars. Goes, somebody call? And then he just pulls out an AK and goes, because I ain't the Doctor.
Paramedic who? Doesn't have the right ring to it.
No, you're right, it doesn't.
Well, at least he isn't going to be one of those World Health Organization doctors.
Oh,
like Peter Capaldi was in World War Z.
People were like, oh my god, did you see that? That's got nothing to do with anything. That's just a complete coincidence. But
I know,
these
but it's a cool coincidence.
People who read into it, they're like, oh my god, that was like a sign. I'm just like, you're like an idiot.
It's a bit harsh, John.
No, it's truth. I'm just telling it like it is, taking names.
Truth hurts.
Yeah.
So therefore it is harsh.
Do you guys think the regeneration is going to happen in this episode?
No.
From what? From Matt to Capaldi?
From Matt to... Yeah.
No, that's
That's Christmas.
Yeah.
Which is my other reason to why I don't think they're going to reveal the answer to the regenerations, because that's a whole nother storyline they can do. Why would you give all of this stuff away in such a small amount of time? The fact that we've got 3 Doctors together, that's a big enough revelation. You don't also need to do this and do that. And
no, I think Chris...
4 Doctors together.
Mate.
Yeah, I mean, I do have 4 Doctors, sure.
No, as in, like, Tom Baker.
No, we told you that's a red herring. It's going to be...
Yeah, Eccleston. I don't think it'll be... I think Tom Baker's just lying.
That was the thing I was going to say. Why Eccleston was such a cold Doctor was because he had just come from the Time War.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
That's why he's so angry at the Daleks.
Yeah.
The episode Dalek.
When he saw that one, he was all rusty.
And they could fly.
Yeah. But because of the Time War, that's canon. Because that was the problem everyone had, and it was like, they can't fly, you can't do that. Well, Time War.
Oh.
That's just, anything goes wrong, Time War.
I'm using that in all arguments from now on.
You're replacing Batman made me do it, or was it Superhero made me do it?
Yeah.
It was like that when I got here.
Matt, your tea is terrible.
Time War.
Time War?
Time War. It's like that thing in that Rooster Teeth animated adventure where he's just like, Google.
Yeah.
I think Joel's going to come steal my lawnmower. Google. But yeah, Time War, that is my cop-out of everything. But Stephen Moffat
the official binary cop-out.
But Moffat said it was okay. You've just been Moffated. Which is like getting Davis-did. But he disappeared and he doesn't write for that show anymore.
Apparently he still, from what I've read, he still has regular chats with Moffat, though.
Yeah.
It calls him an idiot.
Like, what have you done? You've ruined everything.
3 Doctors, you crazy man.
Look, I don't want Angels or Daleks in... I know Daleks are going to be in it, but I don't want Angels or Daleks, or... I just want Zygons. Zygons would be good. Just Zygons, nothing else.
You don't want Angels. Angels are awesome.
No, they ruined Angels.
Overload it, yeah. There's too much going on. Angels was a great thing, and then Manhattan ruined it.
Yeah. To be fair, I think they kind of... The end of... Is it Flesh and Stone?
Mm-hmm.
Was that the second part, or was that the first?
I'm just agreeing it could be, yeah.
But you know the episode with River and the Amy and the Angels and the Angel in her eye?
Yeah.
I think that ruined it a bit. That started it, and then Manhattan just destroyed it.
I realised an issue I have with Doctor Who. Oh, look, the first Angels episode...
Oh, that's a very broad statement to have.
Yeah.
No. The first
Time
Angels
travel,
episode was
that's
awesome.
the issue.
The first episode was awesome.
Yeah, well,
because the Angels weren't moving, even when there was no one looking at them, because we were looking at them.
And that's what I meant. It ruined it at the end of Flesh and Stone, because you see them move their heads.
Oh, yeah, that sucks.
It gets rid of every kind of... Because they are quite scary, as an idea. And
because
then
you don't see it.
It ruins it.
Yeah, it's the leaving it to your imagination. That's the scary thing. Our imaginations.
Yeah.
It's the same as silence. Like,
Yeah.
that's a terrifying idea that Moffat's come up with.
It does look just like Slender Man. You're right.
Yeah, it does.
No,
And
it's the fact that you don't remember it after you see it.
Remember what?
exactly.
But at the end of the episode Blink, the girl whose name I can't remember now, the girl who's been collecting all the information.
Sally Sparrow.
That's it, yeah, because she's friends with Nightingale. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, got it. Brilliant. She has loads of pictures of the Weeping Angels.
Although somebody explained that on Reddit the other day because it came up, and it's to do with the only reason that an image of an angel becomes an angel. It only works when the angels have some kind of strength, but the ones in Blink are so weak and shit that they turn to stone when they're looking at each other.
Right.
So
Yeah.
they never had the power to make the image of themselves become themselves.
Okay.
That's why they wanted the TARDIS so bad.
Okay. Because we seem to be moving on from the actual episode itself later today, what are your opinions on Peter Capaldi? A lot of people have been like, too old, you're ruining you're getting rid of some of the fan base there who are young girls being like, oh, Tennant, oh, Matt Smith, oh, look, an old guy. Huh.
You've got to remember that William Hartnell played the first Doctor.
He's still the oldest, isn't he?
But there was a thought, which was kind of headcanon until now, that the Doctor is getting younger each regeneration. Except now.
And I don't think that works across all of the regenerations. I mean, yeah, the youngest Doctor was the oldest Doctor, and the oldest Doctor is the youngest Doctor, until Peter Capaldi, but yeah.
Yeah, I can see where people were going with that, but do you think having this older, not young, attractive Doctor is a good or a bad thing?
I don't think it's either.
I think it's a good thing. I wouldn't say it was a particularly bad thing. I think it might...
Do you think it will alienate an amount of the fan base?
Alienate, because he's an alien.
Yeah.
Oh.
But I think it will, because it happens every time there's a bloody regeneration. They complain. Oh, they complain, and then they love it. Oh, they love it.
It's because it turns out to be a lot more awesome than they were going to expect.
I think he'll play quite a good Doctor. I don't think he'll be... I think it will be a kind of a bit more like Eccleston, a bit darker.
That's what I'm hoping for.
I'm hoping for that.
The episodes where Smith is like angry and dark are the best
Much
ones.
better, yeah.
I want more Captain Jack and
I kind of
Sarah.
like Captain Jack.
I feel like with the younger ones like Matt Smith, Captain Jack wouldn't fit.
Didn't he say that he'd only meet him 3 times, so we can't ever meet him again?
Did he say that?
Oh no, that was the face of
That
Bo.
was Bo.
He said yeah, so that doesn't count. Jack he can meet. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Bo was talking from his timeline. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think they'd ever put Jack into it again.
And the Master as well. I don't see the Master really working with Smith's Doctor.
No, but I feel like a little cameo within today's episode would be...
That would be good, because, yeah...
Or showing him escaping, showing him running off. Like Bravely Bold Sir Robin.
I was watching that the other night.
So was I. Gareth had never seen it, so we put it on.
That's why me and Charlotte watched it.
Yeah. Another thing about the Spoilercast is I'm just going to try and make as many references to other shows as I can.
You're doing quite well so far.
I thought so, yeah.
You're incorrigible.
I don't know the meaning of the word.
Well played.
He really doesn't. Yeah, is there anything more you want to say about today's episode before we all go off and watch it?
I can't wait.
God,
I have to. I'm not going to get to see it till tomorrow.
Oh.
Damn you, BBC iPlayer, with your convenience. No, but all of our questions will finally be answered.
Tennant has floppy hair now, and it's weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's my last thought.
No, but yeah, I think
it'll be okay.
We've covered a lot here. We've had some good theories. And Dadge has learnt a lot about Doctor Who history. Am I now? Was I more Whovian than you?
Yes. No, I think it was mostly Matt's education.
I did a fair bit of research, and I used to actually watch Doctor Who a lot. It was the last season I didn't watch live like I did with everything else, but I caught up.
You missed out on some good
Got
episodes.
that.
I didn't, because I saw them.
Yeah.
You missed out on some good episodes as they aired.
Only the first half of the season. Second half of the season I watched.
You said you missed. I said you missed out. Not you are missing out. You missed out.
Why are you in your tents?
Yeah, no, to be fair, you did miss out. I remember sitting on Facebook talking to Adam while each episode aired.
Yeah, you missed
Being
out
like,
on
oh
that.
my god, did you see that? Oh my god.
Was it intense? Like that fire at the circus?
No.
I do believe this is the time for us to.
Yeah.
The time?
it's done now.
The time, really? Time will. Anyway.
I think we should put a lock on this now.
Ooh. You can't because of Time War.
Oh.
Anyway, thank you for listening before we sort of die off here. We could regenerate. This is never going to end, is it?
Alright, I'm
Much
done.
like the Time War.
I'm done.
Anyway, thank you for listening. Go watch it. If you're going to comment before you watch it, let us know your theories. And if you have watched it, how awesome were we that we got it all right? But yeah, like and subscribe. And go to binarycore.org for all of your fun articleness. And there's some written versions of top 10s that you wouldn't have seen on this channel from this week's Xbox Week. So go check those out. It's Dadge's top 10. It's awesome.
Yes, it is.
And also from the week before that is Akithius' PlayStation top 10, which you may not have seen. So go look at that. It's in the wrong order, but don't hold that against him.
Just scroll down to the bottom, then read it upwards.
Yeah, do that. Alright, well thank you for listening. Everyone say goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.